Hi guys, it's me again, Kiana, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title of this video, we are going to be doing my review for Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maharin. I feel like I said her name wrong, but I kind of feel bad, but I don't know how to say it. This is the first book, and I want to say duology. The first book is, of course, Serpent and Dove, and the second book is Blood and Honey, which just came out. And I do plan on reading that. So this was a book that came out last year that was very, very hyped, and after reading it, I can now say it has a right to be hyped. It is a very Halloween-y book. I'm gonna read the back. The back says, "A witch and a witch hunter bound in holy matrimony. There is only one way such a story could end: a stake and a match." So now let's read the flap before we go into my review. Bound as one to love, honor, or burn. 2 years ago, Louise LeBlanc fled her coven and took shelter in the city of Cesserin, forsaking all magic and living off whatever she could steal. There, witches like Lou are hunted. They are feared and they are burned. Sworn to the church as a chaser, Reed Diggory has lived his life by one principle: thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. His path was never meant to cross with Lou's, but a wicked stunt forces them into an impossible union, holy matrimony. The war between witches and church is an ancient one, and Lou's most dangerous enemies bring a fate worse than fire. Unable to ignore her growing feelings, yet powerless to change what she is, a choice must be made, and love makes fools of all of us. So this follows two different characters: Lou LeBlanc, who is a witch, and Reed Diggory, who is a Cheshire. He's kind of like a guard for the Archbishop, and Reed is the only reason Reed is kind of like a soldier is he was given up. He is an orphan, so he was given to the church, and the Archbishop was kind of his mentor and his dad figure growing up, always telling him what to do and all of that. So he grew up to be a soldier and to hunt witches. Lou LeBlanc is a daughter of a very powerful matriarch of a big coven. I forgot what the coven's name was, but yeah, she fled from them after they tried to do something to her that we find out later in the book, so I can't say it because it is a spoiler. But she fled with her best friend. Her best friend is a daughter of another powerful mattress of a different coven. Those two covens are enemies, but those two are the best of friends. So yeah, this book is amazing. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, like everyone else did. I see what all the hype was. It just took me a little while to get onto it, so I'm gonna put this book here. And let's do my normal review. My favorite character, I really have to say, was Lou, because for the simple fact how badass she was. She took nobody's shit, where normally in this time period that they have, it's women are very weak and they should always rely on a man, and Lou is the very opposite. She doesn't rely on a man for anything. She can do basically anything a man can do and better. She tries not to use her magic, and for the fact that she hasn't used her magic in 2 years, whenever she does use it, makes her very, very weak. And because of what has happened to her, she doesn't really know how to express feelings and emotions like that. So when she does start to catch her feelings for Reed, she's scared because she doesn't know how it's going to end up. My least favorite character has to be the Archbishop, just for the simple fact he's an asshole, and what we find out later on, and how he knew and he was still ready to burn Lou at the stake. For those who know, you know. But I really disliked the Archbishop because he spoke on the fact that witches are horrible, witches should burn, they're the devil and everything, but yet he laid with a witch. He had relationships with witches, which made me really mad, because if you're gonna say one thing, you need to practice what you preach, and that is something I have always lived by. If I say something, I'm going to back it up, and the Archbishop not doing that really, really pissed me off. So in this story, there is a known witch who happens to be Lou's mother, that they call her the mother of all witches. And basically Lou's coven is very powerful, but not as powerful as her best friend. I believe her best friend's name is Cece, as her aunt's coven is. And I just really enjoy this. So the Cheshires are what Reed is. It's basically a guard who guards the royal family and hunts and kills witches. And some of them are assholes. There was one who was training to be a Cheshire Ansel, who loved Lou and loved her best friend, and after finding out their secret was ready to protect them with their life, We also meet the royal family in here. The king is kind of like Henry VIII, who always had mistresses and illegitimate children on the side. So that was kind of interesting. We do meet one of his children. I can't remember off the top of my head what the son's name was, but we find out that the reason, this is gonna be spoilers now, we find out that the reason Lou ran away from her coven is because Lou's life is basically somehow tied to the king of this country that we're in, tied to his life and his children's life. So if Lou is killed, then the royal family is killed and there's no one left to hunt the witches. So on Lou's, I believe it was her 16th birthday, her mother tried to kill her and she ended up getting away. And because of that, her mother has hunted her all over basically the world to try to find her. And when she does find her, she basically outs Lou to Reed as a witch, which Lou was gonna do anyways because like she really did love Reed, even though they were like forced to marry each other in front of everyone, which I really didn't like that part. But yeah, this book was just amazing. I did give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, my favorite character was Lou, my least favorite character was the Archbishop, and I really do have to say my favorite ship is Lou and Reed, even though they do start out really rocky, just for the fact that Lou basically tries to set up Reed as raping her because she's beaten from, like, she's already bruised and beaten from this beatdown that she got from her friends and whatever. That part really annoyed me because I feel like that shouldn't have been in the book, but considering how it did help Lou out to get put under the protection of the Cheshires from everything that was happening, it kind of worked out in her favor. So they were forced to marry because of that, and then they've grown to love each other, to trust each other. Like Reed ends up like learning how to braid Lou's hair, which was one of my favorite scenes. Reed finds out who his mother was and like all the magical, like that he is a witch, even though in this story it is known that witches can't give birth to sons, and even if they do, like they don't have magical powers, but Reed does. And I'm really looking forward to Blood and Honey, which I am gonna try to read this month. But yeah, that is my review kind of for Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maureen. I hope it's more than 2 books because this series is pretty freaking amazing. But yeah, I'm going to be leaving here on the side of me 2 videos on Instagram you guys should go check out. I try my hardest to post like twice a week now, if I remember and if I'm not busy with work. And I will see you guys hopefully really soon with another video. Bye guys!